Hey guys, welcome back. For those of you on stream, holy shit. No, I did not forget about Ace Attorney Investigations. We might just need to pivot a little bit more with Ace Attorney as we go, but it's all good. So, we are starting literally the beginning of the end now. Turnabout ablaze, but of course I am here with my mods.
Yo. Hello.
Drax spoke before you. Katie said yo, and then we just heard before you went hello.
Well, he's very upset because I was like 40 minutes late, and then Fish was like an hour late. So he's extremely perturbed.
Well, yeah, cats are very routine creatures.
My routine has been disrupted. How dare.
Yeah. Mother's why? I trusted you. Oh, well, Drax, you will.
There's an order to things.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, too bad, Drax. Too bad, Draximus Maximus. Okay, so let us continue. And it's, I've got everything, right? Right? Yep, okay.
Yes.
I double checked. I double fucking checked. I was like, wait a minute. Just ran back metaphorically over to the windows. Okay, let's go. Okay, God. You used all these voices again. So now we know who the Yatagarasu really was. And yet there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved.
No, like how the weapons crossed the country line, for example.
Sorry about that. I just noticed the game volume was overriding us. I had to turn it down.
The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in.
Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Oh, god damn it, I just remembered what's happening. Okay, nothing happened.
Yeah, okay, nothing.
You do
that random skip in music, that was nothing.
You do sees nothing.
I'm calling you out.
Everything is fine.
Damn it. Everything's fine. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged.
Hey, there's a VCR here, sir. Now we can see what's on that tape Detective Bad gave us.
This piece of evidence from the KG-8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us.
Sure thing, sir.
I need to get the back in my voice. I do. This man, it's Manny Cochin.
And he's holding a knife with his hand. In his hand. And with. Both. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance of the apartment building.
An apartment building? How do you figure that?
Unlike you, I actually read the summary of the file of the KG-8 incident. And the crime scene was the victim's own apartment.
So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building.
While Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed.
However, no one could find it.
Yes, somehow someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano.
I can see how this would have been a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it.
But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir.
Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader.
Where?
Wait, what was that?
Huh?
That bit you played just now, please show it to me again. This car. This is something we cannot overlook.
Oh, why is that, sir?
Look here, Detective Gumshoe. This is the national flag of the Principality of Codopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what is a government car doing there?
God, now I gotta remember this voice.
Yeah, you do!
Fuck.
You'll get it. I believe in you. I have faith.
I don't. Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth, are you here all this time?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, actually, so you nailed it.
I am an old man.
Ambassador Alba.
Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. If only I'd been a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry.
This wasn't your fault, sir. This had nothing to do with how careful you were.
You idiot carcass! You couldn't chase after a simple thief!
Sir, please stop hitting your head on your cane.
Is he okay?
No,
I
okay.
don't think so.
Yeah, there's something called blunt force trauma, and I believe he will inflict it upon his cranium.
Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you.
Sorry, it's just been so long since I've seen characters. So now I'm just... Again, the fucking Mankey joke is just in my head.
Shifty looking ass.
Shifty looking ass. No, just, ho, 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 I'm Santa. Fucking, it's so funny.
Go stick your fucking Pinocchio nose into somebody else's case.
No. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that?
Excuse me?
I heard you apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. And we were in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away. So, I hope that you can understand how I feel.
Sir, it's past midnight. Any visitors have long since fucked off, even if, like, your celebration had gone on till, like, 3 a.m.
The party don't stop until I drop.
Paleno in the background, like, actually, we do have a rave planned for later.
I would go to his rave, and I don't care if it was, like, a bunch of classical music. Like, if he just got rave incorrect completely.
Dubstep versions of classical music.
Dubstep Chopin, I'd be there for it.
Yes, good. Symphonic renditions of Sandstorm. Let's go.
Let's do sick violins with Sandstorm. I'm so for it. Oh boy!
While he's handing out those super thin, super flexible glow sticks that are all bent into the shapes of flowers of butterflies.
Oh my god!
I'd go to it.
I would.
Shit, are you kidding me?
All over everything.
I would too. Caracas is all pissed off. Like, I should have thought of that.
I did try to say that the party don't stop till I drop, but
Elena's just over there doing his little hand thing, like, this is lit AF.
and it just come back around.
Oh my god, he did say that, didn't he? Shit.
He said that, yeah.
I was just thinking earlier today about Gumshoe liking Hatsune Miku, so, you know, here we are. For those watching on YouTube, it's been like 2 weeks. And we're just right back on our shit. Chet goes, oh boy, 3 a.m. Eats a hot dog. But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues.
Why don't we leave the rest of the Alabastian and Babalese police?
Ambassador, we are so close. Just a little more and...
Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right?
That's true. However...
As he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be an Alabastian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. I thought that the Atrium Neutralis was neutral ground, though. That's
Yeah, it is.
literally why it's called the Theatrum Neutralis. Is this really where our investigation ends?
Details.
Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way. Yeah, guess who's back, motherfuckers, after limping out.
Yo.
Lang's like, the party don't start until I walk in. Agent Long, you're back on the scene rather quickly.
If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor.
Agent Long, why have you returned?
Because I have to solve this case no matter what.
Well, I'm sorry to inform you. And don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Under these circumstances, I wish to put our investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable.
At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close.
Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do.
Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel.
No, none of that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder.
You...
No?
The...
Killer?
Do you really mean that, Agent Long?
Well, God, at least they let us pause. Later games just go. Like, there's one line that's like, are you freaking insane? And like, it's a different character saying it every time, but they don't give you enough time for it. So that's gonna be a fun read.
Wolves don't lie.
Then who is it?
Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Shuna. Longier says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask II's killer? I'll tell you who. It was you, Franziska von Karma.
Forgot he did this.
What? I was the killer?
I beg your pardon.
Was ist los mit du?
Franziska, please calm down. Actually, no, don't. Don't go for it. Don't. By all means.
Bring it.
He's so agreeable, is he now?
Ah,
Oh my god, I'm lightheaded from that. From laughing at that. Whew.
hey, wait, but that's impossible.
Yeah. Although that whip is actually quite yo.
Hold your tongue and that ludicrous remark you were about to make.
I was standing up for you, sir.
Agent Long, are you seriously accusing her of murder?
Yeah, I am.
He doesn't appear to be joking.
Hey, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right?
Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything?
I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabast and Mabal, did you not?
And where is your evidence that I am the killer?
I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission?
With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I?
Not really, no.
Good. Let's move out. Owen, don't even think about running away.
I would never.
Good, because my pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that.
Huh. As if I would have any other reason to flee.
The embassy cat agrees.
Did you hear him yodeling a minute ago as he was looking for us?
It's Poleno's cat, it's fine.
He's the chief mouser.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Poleno keeps a very clean embassy.
But just so we are clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I accept nothing short of a perfect explanation.
She seems rather upset, not that I blame her. I'm quite enjoying this.
Yeah, it seems like you really are.
Well, he's been nothing but a bother to me for the last 2 days.
Oh, I mean...
And it's entertaining to see someone else on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, it's fun to hear that.
I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that.
Agent Long, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess.
I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery.
Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabast yet.
If you let Kay in, then you've got to let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble.
Hey, come meet. Let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay?
Okay, I'll take you up on that. I just don't have any more lit for you.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go.
As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over.
Sounds like this is gonna get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride.
Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance.
I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. Okay, now, let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over in the Secretariat's office in Babal. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. And then the body of Damask II, Mr. Kashino, was found here in the Alabastian ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was this primitive statue. And that this is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it, sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off.
Really? Agent Long, do you understand the full implications of what you are saying?
Sorry, I'm just like, wow, Francisca's between the three of us, Francisca's two fucking love interests. On the one hand, you've got Larry Butts, who's still swimming around in a pool. And
Legend says he's still there to this day.
on the other hand, you've got Shi-long Long, who's just accused her.
Stop telling people I'm dead!
Because he's fucking swimming. And Agent Shi-long Long, who has now just accused her of murder.
Yup.
Franzi's like, fuck this, I'm staying single.
Of course I do, sis. And I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. And so, while people were distracted by the Yatagarasu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire.
Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons?
Don't worry, I plan to show that you're the culprit behind that, too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Hey now!
Damn. Let's all admire Long for a second and that he caught her whip. Excellent.
Look, sis, I thought I already told you I'm not messing around here.
refuse to have my name besmirched.
You don't know a damn thing about having your name besmirched. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring. But Shina certainly is tied to the smuggling ring.
He is right in saying that she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring, could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine?
Miles Edgeworth! Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already.
Francisca, you need to calm down. It was entertaining at first, but now it's clouding your judgment. Because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it.
What?
But don't worry, I am taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence.
That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well.
Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damask II.
You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Long. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damask II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation.
And your incarceration, yes, I am very aware. As long as I have no good counter-argument to his hypothesis, then the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do.
Come on, Mr. Prosecutor. Let's get started.
Yes, let's. Don't worry, Ziska, I have this.
We'll see. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin. And the murder weapon in the killing of Damask II is Babal's Primadou statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you.
So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Francisca will remain a suspect.
You got it, Mr. Prosecutor. So why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the hell can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss.
Agent Long, what I've learned from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself.
What are you talking about?
By focusing too intently on that which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Longjeu never said anything to that effect.
You prosecutor, who do you think you are speaking about Longjeu's proverbs like that?
I don't need his proverbs, because my words are all you will need to see the truth. I don't ship it, but like I'm starting to see where the Longworth shippers are getting it from. Like this part in specific, like this part in general, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, okay. I'm seeing where they're getting it now. All right, I'm seeing the fodder.
Was it my tiny sandwich board?
Oh no, there's a shit ton of them. There's a shit ton of shippers. It's okay. After the anime came out, like there are people that are very like popular in the community as artists, and they are either in the process of playing through all the games, and they're like, and they're slowly being like, oh, this is a fucking ship. So Yeah, no, there's a ton of Longworth shippers, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't ship it, but I can actually now see it, because when I first heard it, I was like, what the fuck? No. No, and now I'm like, oh, okay, this part gives the fodder, so I can see it. I concur that this knife crossed over country lines.
Good. That's not the only thing that did. We mustn't forget about the other weapon. The knife was only one.
So you're saying that the Primadou statue was also brought over by Francisca?
Like I told you before, that's the only way it makes sense.
And how exactly did she bring it over?
I haven't figured that out yet.
That's a rather weak statement considering how sure you are.
Maybe, but there's one thing I know for sure.
Impenetrable. I should hardly think so.
You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that?
Yeah, not even I could climb over a thing like that barbed wire.
The only way into either embassy is through the doors in the Theatrum Neutralis. So the only way for the knife and the Primadou statue to traverse the two countries is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors.
Was Francisca really the only person to have traveled between the two countries?
According to the guards at both doors, she's the only one to go back and forth. Sis there was an alabast when the Yatagrasu showed. And then, just before you guys found Mr. Cochin's body, she entered Babal. I think we can assume that's when she brought the knife into Babal.
Then how do you explain the Primadou statue?
I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves that the killer must have also traveled across the country lines.
The only things to cross the border are the Primadou statue and the knife. I should hardly think that those are the only two items, Agent Long.
Beep, 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 beep.
What was that little beep, 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 beep?
I'm excited.
Alright. It can be either Primadou statue.
Go get him, babe.
What? Wait, what?
What?
What did you just call me?
Your sister's going to start looking at you. Don't let her hit you.
Fine. Agent Long, we'll talk about this later. Long's like, what the fuck? You okay over there? That was just a sheer shriek of delight.
Yes, it was.
Oh, God. Okay. That's something I'll worry about later. Sorry, my stream elements was like, hey, you've got something. And I'm like, bruh. Unless it directly affects me, I don't care. Agent Long, these two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight.
Oh?
Dimash II was killed with Babal's Primadou statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabast's Primadou statue go?
To Babal?
Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies.
guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items, only that the sis is the only one who could have done it. 'Cause the only person who went back and forth between Alabast and Babal is her.
Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person. One who paid a visit to both sides of the wall. Is that really so, Agent Long?
What a lousy time to try to bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guards said along with the security camera's footage. You're not gonna overturn my hypothesis that easily.
But suppose there was some other way than through the theater doors.
What other way?
The other entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. If I point it out, it would open up a whole new possibility. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. They fucking love Shakespeare. Jesus, or not Shakespeare, god damn it. I went to school to words good. It takes so much braiding to make them go. They really love Sherlock Holmes. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, after rereading everything after DGS, I'm spotting so many references throughout the original trilogy. And I'm like, and like the spin-offs. And I'm sure I'm gonna pick them up in the second trilogy. I'm like, this dev team just loves Sherlock Holmes. It's crazy.
Looks like you've got some clever idea in mind.
I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence.
Fine then. Let's see this piece of evidence that will show me this other route.
This piece of evidence will show us another way to move between the two countries. Lord help me, I cannot believe I'm doing this. You are a terrible influence.
Who?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, yes you did. This is very similar to a certain flying woman.
Let's not talk about that. Still a little fresh.
Agent Long, I'm sure you are familiar with this unforgettable photo.
That supernatural photo? Like I said before. Humans can't fly.
No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well.
And don't start claiming that Shuna somehow grew wings either.
Well, she is a harpy. I wouldn't dream of claiming that.
But it's true, Mr. Edgeworth. I just turned my head so fast that I'm amazed my neck didn't crack.
You're right, Kay. Still, that is still his subordinate, and he seems to be taking it rather personally. Even though this is my sister, and I'm taking this very personally.
Turnabout is fair play.
Oh, you have no idea how many times I've heard the word turnabout in my life in the past 3 years.
Hey.
What? It is your fault.
On your own.
You haven't been chipping in with ideas. What do you mean I'm on my own?
Not.
I've been on my... Well, then what do you mean I'm on my own?
Shit.
What?
I can only hear you.
Oh. Well, that clears things up somewhat. Anyway, Francisca's going to start talking. Miles is like slowly catching on.
And I won't allow you to take back what you've said either. I'll say it again. It's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. Do I have to teach you about basic biology? So you'd better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor.
A rope.
A rope. I mean, that's really all it is. That's all they fucking needed for Misty. Ow. Laughs and tears. But how can I prove who it was that flew through the air in this photo? Wait, not humanly possible. Ah, Eureka! Very well, you will have your explanation.
Sounds like you have a good idea simmering in that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is...
Oh, no. That's not it. Yeah, okay, it's the Alabaster Prima statue. Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object, the Prima statue replica.
You can't be serious.
The Yatagarasu, or rather, Callisto Yu, dressed as Agent Shurna, was inside Babal. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air.
Mr. Prosecutor. You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation.
I know I did.
She launched it through the air. And how exactly did she do that?
He is literally baring his fangs at me. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier?
Hey, sis. I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right?
So, just before the murder, Francisca was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then that may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Long, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma.
Huh?
Oh. What are you up to now, pretty boy?
Earlier, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer.
Yeah, I guess I did say something like that.
In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is.
Do you really think a criminal would tell us the honest truth?
How dare you! As I've said numerous times, there is absolutely no proof that I am the killer.
Oh, simmer down before you have an aneurysm.
Edgeworth... Miles Edgeworth! Don't tell me you suspect me too.
I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time. Which is why I would like to hear about your movements in this room. Francisca, I feel that I still don't have enough information. Which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case.
All right. So, what would you like me to talk about?
I'd like you to please testify to your movements in this room until the murder occurred.
All right, let's try this your way for a change. But if what she has to say turns out to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl no.
As you wish. I told you, Ziska, I have this.
As I said earlier, I was assigned to be guard duty of the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the Seal Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back to the ambassador by Ambassador Alba to his office.
Francisca, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct?
Yes, of course.
I see. For now, the only way that I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Francisca about her testimony in more detail. I thought your duty was to fact-find anything you could about the smuggling ring.
Yes, that was my job. But upon hearing the Yatagarasu had sent a calling card to the embassy, Ambassador Alba called upon us to protect the embassy instead. That incident 7 years ago. Or have you forgotten what happened back then?
Nah. Anything related to that case we were involved in appears to be rather painful for her. It's not exactly one I can readily forget myself.
It looks like you remember the case after all.
Of course I do. Oh my god, I was actually gonna have him ad-lib that.
I inspected every location, every possible escape route, and every aspect of the police security detail. I did all of that. Then after that,
So you were at the theater as well?
yes, and I suppose you were watching you were there as well, watching that stage show.
Well, yes. So Francisca was there.
Well, after the show was over and I saw the Steel Samurai off,
Why did you need to confirm the degree of preparation for even the speech?
for security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have had? No one knew just how the Yatagarasu had planned on getting in, right?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
And in the end, the Yatagarasu did choose to appear in the Rose Garden. Even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Ah, who would have thought that she would use a shadow?
Ah, calm down, Francisca. Ow. She must still be nursing a grudge over the fact that she couldn't figure it out herself.
Anyway, there was no one in the Rose Garden.
You do those little humps so fucking perfectly. I can imagine you and her tossing your heads in that exact haughty manner. It's
Yay!
It's perfect. You're the perfect Franzi. Never change.
And we were aware that the speech was set to start thereafter.
I scratched my nose. Like, I clawed a nostril. Ow. Ow.
How'd you do that?
I don't know.
Silly.
I was just rubbing my nose and it was like, I'm like, ow! Ouch, kibibbles. At that time, Damask II's body had yet to be found in this room, is that correct?
That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence.
Hmm.
A criminal will say anything to get out of getting arrested. how do we know you're not lying?
Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you.
Not with a whip.
Seriously.
Yeah.
The precision yas.
Like I keep telling you. When I arrived in this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill, watering his plants.
I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around a time here in my office.
All right then. Add that statement to your testimony and let's hear some details.
So Ambassador Alba was in this room at the time, was he?
When I arrived, Ambassador Alba was watering the flowers on the windowsill.
For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill?
What do you mean by that?
The entrance to this room is on this side, however, the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Isn't that not correct?
I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him. But fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall.
I don't think anything is to you.
Of course not. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me. With a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right?
I suppose.
After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself and is growing them with the utmost care, you know.
Yes. I love my flowers. The plants in this room, they're all like my children. I love them all. They're the only ones that listen to me.
It kills me. I've told her this before. It kills me because at first, when she first starts to speak, it's Yanni Yogi, and then it turns into Alba himself. But there's just an unavoidable bit of Yanni Yogi, and that's totally fine. But it just makes me laugh even harder because, oh God, Guzzy, no! Flowey pops out. Hey-ya!
Do 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 do.
I am taking a knife to that flower.
No.
I'm getting Scissor Man's fucking scissors. All right.
Hug the flower.
I'm going to Clock Tower, getting Scissor Man's fucking scissors and chopping that flower up.
Hug the flower.
No. I will make Papyrus sad for his own good.
Touch the friendliness pellets.
No. Fuck
Gain
you.
love.
Fuck you. I can hear her laughing in the background.
Can you hear her shrieking from the other room?
That's amazing. That makes me so happy. I'm so happy.
We're 30 feet away. I am in the dining room. She is at the opposite end of the apartment.
That's incredible. Kazi, please don't feel bad about that. That's fucking amazing. Like, I have the biggest fucking smile on my face right now. My face hurts from smiling. Holy shit. Oh my god. Sorry, I just looked back at the screen. That is her Cadian in her Alba voice. I'm like, they're the only ones who listen. Shit. Oh.
They're very good at deciding country policy.
The passion flower is the flower box on the windowsill. They grow beautifully too.
Oh.
All 4 of them are in full bloom.
I think it's just Ace Attorney that does this to us. Oh.
Old Bag is still in the vicinity. She might not be here, but she is here.
That's true. Blame it on Old Bag. Miss Von Karma, what did you say just now?
I said that all the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand?
What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony.
Very well. There were 4 large passion flowers in full bloom in the flower box.
Okay, just to be safe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember if this game is like, hey, motherfucker, you press too, yeah, a dick. You press too much, you lose. I'd like to confirm this with you one more time. There were 4 passion flowers in bloom in that box, correct?
Yes. I should hardly think I could have miscounted such eye-catching flowers.
There must
Passion
be.
flowers are dope as hell.
Passion flowers are dope as hell.
Yes, hold on. Let me find. I'll throw a picture in stream chat of the kind that grow around here in Florida. They're amazing.
Okay. There must be a deeper meaning to this statement. And it appears that I must take a gamble on its meaning for me to make any progress. The Prima statues were already switched by the time the murder happened. In light of that fact, what Francisca saw in this room before the crime is of incredible importance. Holy shit.
Eye-catching is definitely a word for them.
Wow. That thing looks like a Lovecraftian entity.
I love them so much.
They're very beautiful, but like, I also would not be surprised if that thing would hypnotize and kill me.
Right? Like, they are the host plant for 3 different native Florida butterflies, and they also look like they're ready to become mimics at any given moment.
Yeah, holy shit. Wow. They are beautiful, but like, goddamn. Oh, okay.
Did you look into the abyss there for a second?
Yeah, I did. I saw Cthulhu.
Look, it's okay if you fail your wisdom check, just don't proceed to succeed your intelligence check. Because if you see it, that's cool. That's fine. The problem is when you understand it.
What if I just rolled a nat 20?
Then you're fucked. Say goodbye to all of your sanity points.
Fuck. Okay. The passion flowers are in here. But there's only 2! Francisca, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence.
It does appear that way.
I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis.
Mr. Edgeworth! What are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like that?
Yes, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir.
And I'll never forgive you.
What were you doing, playing tiddlywinks in the corner?
We've been standing here listening because what else can we do?
Fair. No!
All I've done is stated what I saw. I have made not a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I am under suspicion of murder. As the number of flowers really... Is the number of flowers really that important at this junction, Miles?
At the very least, it's a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant.
Then let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove?
I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine the flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy.
They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. So that I ask you please gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth.
I understand. At least I'm not going to put them on the stand.
Excuse you.
This reminds me of a puzzle.
Put Flowey on the stand.
Your Honor, let the flowers take the stand.
Your Honor, let the goat take the stand.
God. This patch of soil looks as though it had something removed from it.
What are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clam up all of a sudden? I'm still here, waiting for an explanation, you know.
Did you know, Agent Long, flowers are best appreciated in silence? It looks like two things were pulled out of this flower box. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they're actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are supported by these plant supports.
Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only two here to me. You really don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you.
Miles Edgeworth? Hurry up and shut this man up for me already.
Why don't you do the work yourself?
Because you would arrest her at that juncture, and she's smarter than that.
Wow, you really don't pay attention. Never mind. We'll have to have that talk later.
Ugh. I'm not thinking about the other implications.
Your loss.
Ugh. My gain. Meanwhile, Nick is now horrified.
Long probably doesn't know.
What, that he's showing interest in my sister? Yes, I'm very well aware.
He's implying that you are showing interest in your sister.
What? 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 No. Absolutely no. What? Oh, I've known her since she was 2. What? Ugh. No. Absolutely. Agent?
Can I help you?
Ziska,
Yes.
after this case is cleared up, please proceed to use your whip on him with indiscriminate fury.
I was actually going to say reckless abandon, but yes.
Yes, either one will do. Ugh.
Long in the background, like I missed something.
I suppose I will need evidence. I suppose I will need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require.
Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight. But I highly doubt it'll last until the end.
You howl like a wolf, Agent Long. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence. The truth that the passion flowers reveal can be seen in this piece of evidence.
Oh, the stick!
A stick.
The steak.
The stick! That's a stick. That's a good stick.
You just went off like some crazed gremlin.
Look, flowers showed up, which means you unlocked guarding gremlin Miri. I don't know what you want from me.
Nothing more, nothing less.
There's nothing better than a good stick. A stick has many uses.
What the fuck?
With stick, you can dig.
I don't know if you're quoting something or if you're just going off. Either way, I'm just so confused. It's a coin toss at this point.
It's been a long day.
Oh my god. It has been. Oh. Shurna, who was supposedly in Babal the entire time, had these hair sticks on her that look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. I'm sorry, Kay.
Oh. So what? Is it really all that important to the case?
Of course it is. It means that we found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight.
Yeah.
Don't you fucking do it.
Think about it logically, Agent Long. These
Take it
sticks
down.
were originally on the bus.
I'll ban you from your own stream chat.
Do it. I dare you. Motion seconded.
You can't just ban the streamer from their own fucking chat.
The streamer is dead.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Don't you dare. But somehow they wound up in Shurna's hands, who was in Babal the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and statue.
Very well, then. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal.
How did these support sticks find their way to Babal and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there. Aha, so that's why. Agent Long, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape.
It's just another stick, isn't it?
And so it is. But the shape of the support sticks is what's important. For when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. And the object that completes the picture when used with the support sticks is...
That's a cross. Wait, you're not really suggesting.
I am. These hair sticks, or rather, plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows.
Yeah!
I've done it. I found the common thread that connects the two offices. But this thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? There must be a common thread that ties all of these things together.
Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. So Babal's statue was draped in the Atagarasu's clothes and then shot over here? Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the primitive statues didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you?
Zipline.
Oh. Very clever. The pre-Medu statues didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't.
Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact.
Meanwhile, if Nick had been here, he would have been like, okay, but they could have. Just,
But hear me out.
yeah, exactly.
Hear me out.
I was just gonna say that. Hear me out.
But they could have.
Anything is possible.
With enough determination and the right amount of string.
It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation.
What?
You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The pre-Medu statue flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. But that incredible scene just happened to have been caught on film, resulting in this photo.
And what an incredible scene it was. This photo was taken by a freelance photojournalist, right?
Yes, so I hear.
And not every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially not the ones that sell photos of spirits and giant creatures to tabloids.
Yes, I know what you mean. I've seen those photos many a time in court.
Ugh.
Yes, I know. But there have been times when those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. Aw, I'm proud of Miles talking about his own case like that, by the way.
Aw.
If you ever stood in a court of law, you would know that it's entirely plausible.
You really believe the stuff you're spewing right now?
I've lived it. That's what I thought.
A courtroom certainly is a strange place if what you say is true.
You have no idea.
Hey,
But there really is something odd about that photo, no matter how you look at it.
I didn't say it's bad, I just said it's strange. There is a difference, they're not mutually exclusive.
Speaking of strange, are you going to rejoin us, or are you going to keep talking to yourself?
I'm simply musing aloud.
Even... oh. I forgot.
you did it. It's your first time.
Yay!
Yay! Normally I forget in the other direction.
One of us.
But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself will reach the other side, correct?
But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing.
No, that's not necessarily true.
What?
What I need right now is not for the discussion of my conclusions, it's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statues.
It's time for the Logic Rube Goldberg machine.
Yep. New testimony.
Oh, damn it.
It's okay.
Back to back.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a statue that was tied to the arrows, then what did the crossbows launch?
The thing the crossbow launched, allow me to show you the answer.
Oh, come on then. Show me what you've got. But I warn you, I will know when you're just bluffing.
This is what was launched from the Alabastian office with the crossbow.
Nick in the background. Vindication!
He's like, where is he going with this? Like, I think I know where he's going with this. But am I right? Finally.
I was right.
Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow.
I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Cochin's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. If what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alabast's Primadou statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then what about Babal's Primadou statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Going the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy up to the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy. How do you explain that?
Ha! I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick works. Agent Long, the motion used behind this trick, I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head.
Motion? What motion?
This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's Primadou statue. I believe it was done via rotary motion, not a zip line. If the two statues were transported simultaneously...
Simultaneously? Get real. The statues would collide somewhere along the way.
Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two offices? If you shot an arrow with the two ends of the wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed.
Longier says, don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Taking into account the tension differences between the two wires, the top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway.
Agent Long, as you know, the Primadou statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure. And the fact that Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible.
Longier says...
Here is what I believe happened. It's just going on like, whatever.
Damn. I'm gonna need some tea after this.
You didn't brew any! Miri!
No, I had eggnog with Southern Comfort in it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Meanwhile, Nick is clinging to the ceiling in his apartment.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, Maya like walks out, like getting snacks for her and Pearl, and she's like, I mean, all right. Just goes into his kitchen, grabs a bag of chips, and just walks back. Like, have fun with whatever you're doing, Nick.
Nick in the background, like, are you about to old yell at his ass?
Ms. Yu and her mystery co-conspirator set themselves up in 2 different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the 2 ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then the 2 of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport them. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to the ball where it was to be disposed of. And to do that, Ms. Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock, QED.
Proves it, right, Agent Long? I am not the killer.
Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Is he insinuating anything there?
No, just that he's not done.
Well, thank God for that, at least. The proof is in the pudding, as it were.
Pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir.
Excuse me. I agree that as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence.
One more? This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact? What?
Perfect.
What?
Now he's insinuating something.
With that comment, yeah. The comment for those on YouTube is pudding is a nice dessert, but I prefer cream pie.
I'm confused.
She'll tell you later.
all y'all motherfuckers are like, I'll tell you when you're older.
We can't be doing that much sinning on stream.
This is the point where you just say, I'm too ace for this.
Okay, all right, this is fair.
If we had our other ace friends in chat, they'd be like, for fuck's sake. I'm just now imagining the reactions of said people. Oh.
Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor.
The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire. I believe that it is right here in this very room. Now then, I believe this is what made the circular belt transportation method possible.
The big circle thing!
Yep.
Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again.
The last piece of the trick. 2 pulleys.
Precisely. The ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there is one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fans made for the perfect pulley setup for the wire to run on. That was a great howl, holy shit. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security.
You are really something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you've figured it all out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot is that set up this real-life stage show, don't you?
The person who set this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastian and Bobbly's offices, and that the Passion Flower support stakes could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case...
Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food.
Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do?
A single point of the finger here and this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now but to rush in. There is a piece of evidence that will point us to who the mysterious mastermind is. This smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big that Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person has very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So, as you may have already guessed, the person I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus it can only be you, Carcass Alba.
What did I miss?
Alba's just been like zoning out to his weird like tree double in the room. Like he's been gathering life energy from it.
Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth?
I'm certain of what I am saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Long sounds like he needs a jacket that lets him hug himself.
He's had a day.
He has had a day.
Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor. What was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that?
I understand your need to doubt me. However, there is one thing that stands out to me as very odd.
Just one thing, huh?
The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Primadou statue for the fake, I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. And who to better ask for that reason than King Primadou himself?
I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission.
And that little groan just made him sound like he was on his fucking deathbed. He's gathering his life force.
This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they looked alike that he was picked to be a goodwill ambassador.
I suppose that's possible. right? Have you ever had the sense of deja vu?
All the time.
Take a look at this area on the base of his neck. It looks like a gap.
Hey, you're right. Maybe it means that there's some kind of secret.
Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction.
What?
Hurry up and open it, Miles.
All right, here goes.
Wow, it really did open up. Hey, what's that thing that fell out?
I believe a more thorough examination of it is required. What in the... is this...
Hey, is that what I think it is?
It's a plate for making counterfeit bills.
Somehow, it appears that we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates, and the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabast to begin with. The Primadou statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat, and the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Shurna, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask II. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damask II and... then, in order to frame the steel samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba?
You're the leader of the smuggling ring. My country is a mess. And it's all because of you.
You're the one who killed Damask II.
Answer us!
I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, there's one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin.
Quit screwing around.
Nice typo, Capcom.
Yes, quite indubitably.
Yeah, indubitably screwing around.
Impeccably screwing around. Long drunk trying to do a Miles impression.
I hate this piece of shit. Fucking prosecutors. Indubitably, ergo, QEDs screwing around, fucking up my investigations. That's absolutely what happens when he gets back to Zhengfa. Like, I hate this guy.
I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt on to a dead man.
No,
If there's one.
He's been dead for 7 years.
If there is one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're the real ringleader, Carcass Alba.
It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Long.
Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation.
Logic and investigation? Only a second ago you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flip-floppy logic such a real weight, do you? Huh?
Hmm.
It looks like you still don't get why I came back.
Excuse me?
You see, the reason I came back is so that I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck.
Is he a vampire now, sir? Anyone?
Oh, he looks like a werewolf.
Yes, that is what everyone is calling him.
Everyone's calling him what, Mr. Edgeworth?
A wolf. Or a
Yeah.
werewolf.
Yeah, I think he's right there, Gummy. I think he is a werewolf.
Yeah, but he just talked about sinking fangs in the neck. Isn't that what vampires do?
Yeah, but so does a wolf when they're trying to kill someone.
I've never been on the receiving end of a wolf attack. I wouldn't know.
Neither have I. I've just watched, nature videos.
I can't afford cable.
Oh, I'll bring my fire stick and we'll steal some Wi-Fi and we can watch them.
Does that work on a tube TV?
We'll find a way.
Okay.
From the very beginning, my real target has been you.
What?
Agent Long, I demand an explanation.
Head bitch in charge is gonna straight up strangle you with that whip, dude.
She's super is.
She angry. No talk, she angry.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, sis. I didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning.
You did?
I knew that this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for. So naturally, the only occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around.
Ah, so that's why you put on this big show to accuse Francisca of the murder. Using Francisca as the bait, you were able to gain us entry and investigative rights.
Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given us the okay to poke around.
So that's what all this was about. Very well, I will forgive you,
How magnanimous of you.
as well as apologize for what I have said earlier. But in exchange for using me as bait,
Miles is now staring at the wall like she never apologizes.
Aw.
you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth.
Agent Long, for giving me such a great opening. I thank you.
You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor. Somehow, if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you'd be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic.
Huh. The evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right?
I don't know about all that. But one thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him.
Of course he doesn't know, because he's got me, pal.
Be quiet, Scruffy.
Shut up in the peanut gallery.
Hey! Rude.
I did ask that they allowed to be brought along with me. Detective Gumshoe has been rather useful in certain scenarios.
Yeah, well, he'd better continue being useful or he's out of here.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Edward.
Okay,
All right, detective, please be quiet. Please. Kay, please do something about him.
It's okay, Gummy. Don't worry.
But he complimented me. I never get
I
compliments.
know.
Gumshoe is slowly sliding into Larry.
Hey,
Is he slowly sliding into Larry? Gumshoe just takes out a dirty hanky and gives a big ol' honk blowing his nose.
Oh, you're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you?
Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me.
Agent Long, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you'll have what is necessary to prove that I'm the head of the smuggling ring.
don't be such a sore loser.
Miles is once again staring at the wall. Did I just hear that correctly?
Yep.
I'll unpack that later.
If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity.
Dignity? I lost that years ago. That's nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength.
This is why she's been my best friend for like 10 fucking years. Holy shit.
If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of this thing you call evidence. I tell you, I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know what a counterfeit plate was hiding. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hiding inside the statue.
Is it time for nap nap, Ambassador?
It's time for my evening nap. I'm on the everyman sleep schedule, and I need to take my 20 minutes.
Christ.
You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything.
It doesn't make sense? Where doesn't it make sense? Can you prove that it doesn't make sense?
He's really got us. He's turned this entire situation around on us.
The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as the ringleader. If we can somehow find that proof now, then we can see it to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? The trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a protector of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. I can't do it again.
Needless to say, we Von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory. And by any means necessary.
Hi, Satan.
Calm down, you angry Muppet.
I didn't.
And the worst of the worst, the most hated and cursed is the one that they call Scrooge.
I did not get close to the mic for that, by the way. I stayed exactly where I was. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. Insert Damon Gant thing here. I no longer follow the path of Montfort von Karma, and I won't follow the path of the Atagarasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then will I sully my hands in illegality? And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law and what is justice? And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? That choice is what I must make by my own hand, here and now. And we're gonna find out what it is next time.
Yay!
Yay!
Is Miles going to walk the same path he always has? Is a cliffhanger.
Yay!
David,
Cliffhanger, hanging from a cliff. That's why he's called Cliffhanger.
How much Southern Comfort was in that eggnog?
Less than a shot. I'm just really slap happy because I'm super fucking tired.
Oh, fair. I know that feel. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna do it. Is Miles actually going to follow the path of Von Karma, the path of the Atagarasu? Is he going to do what Damon Gant warned him about? The echoes are there if you know to look for them, but they definitely did not want to incorporate a lot from the trilogy into this. Like, they didn't really want to incorporate too much because they wanted it to be a thing of its own.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that's going to be it until next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. It feels very weird to do the closing with this Doom music here. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we will continue on Saturday. Who knows if we're going to finish or not. If it's as long as we remember or not.
Yeah.
Because it's a road. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, thank you guys so much. This has been myself and Katie and Miri.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one and take it easy.